What's going on, guys? Ultra Stasio here with FlytPath.com. Now here I have Insta360's latest camera. This is the Insta360 GO number 2. And if you guys haven't seen my video on this one right here, this is the GO 1. Make sure you guys check out that video above as well as down below in the video description. I'll talk about all the features I really like about GO 1, but at the end of that video, I also talk about things I wish that they would update on version 2, and this is version 2. Now, spoiler alert, they did update a bunch of new features on this thing, which I really like, but there's also a couple things I still think that they might be able to enhance possibly on the next version. So in this video, let's talk about all those features that I really like and what they updated from version 1 to version 2. Let's go through that in this video, and also at the very end, let's talk about a couple things I think they might be able to enhance a little bit more on version 3. Now, before I jump into the top features that I really like about this camera, let's quickly go through just some of the camera specs in general. The Insta360 GO 2 only weighs 26.5 grams. That's just the camera itself. Now with the case, it actually weighs about 63 grams. As far as aperture, it's shooting at an f2.2 with a video format of MPEG-4, as well as the encoding of H.264. The GO 2 has an internal memory of 32 gigabytes, as well as a max bitrate of 80 megabytes per second. The shooting modes we have on here are basic stabilization, flow state stabilization, HDR, time-lapse, time shift, as well as slow motion. Now, as far as photos, it does shoot in JPEG and in RAW, but with RAW, you're gonna need to edit those onto your desktop computer, not on your phone. Now, I've actually had the GO 2 for the past few weeks now, and in my most recent videos, if you guys haven't seen, I've added in a bunch of short clips of a more kind of point of view type of shot. And that's the reason why I really like this camera, for those types of reasons. I think it definitely adds another point of view, a more immersive type of experience when I'm out there shooting, and also when I'm editing and giving you guys a little bit more detailed explanations of what I'm doing, how I'm shooting, what I'm flying with. Now I give you guys a little bit more insight on the perspective from my point of view. Now, of course, the biggest benefit of a camera like this is this reason right here, this size. I actually brought this with me for the past few weeks now, almost pretty much everywhere I've gone, documented everything from when I went snowboarding, took my family out to SeaWorld, got a bunch of behind the scenes shots while I was shooting a lot of my drone videos, and it just made it super easy to get because of the fact it's super small. Now, some of the shots I added in my videos are normally shots I would try to shoot with something like this, a little action camera to either have with me on my chest, on my hat, or anything like that. That kind of gives me that a little bit more immersive type of point of view. And for me, I'm more concerned about documenting what is happening versus what camera I'm using. Now, the biggest thing that Insta360 is known for is their image stabilization. Just like the Insta360 One, you're using that same studio app that allows you to shoot with this camera pretty much at any angle like this, and you can still maintain that level horizon. When I first saw that on the 360 cameras, I thought it was, if anyone sees it on the 360 camera, it's amazing how you can have a camera just whipping around, yet the horizon will stay level. Now, you are able to do that in that pro video mode on this camera, and if you don't want to deal with that in post-production, all you have to do is put it in regular video mode, and it has the in-body stabilization that you'll want to use if you're just doing some basic vlogging and talking with it. But definitely, if you want to get the most out of this camera, you're going to want to put it in that pro video mode. So when it does come down to stabilization, even on a camera this small, definitely that flow state is what separates the Insta360 cameras apart from a lot of the other ones. Now, one of the biggest updates they did is this carrying case and charging system from version 1 to version 2. Now, version 1, it worked well enough to get you through, but the problem was, once you have it in the case, you have this separate kind of cover with it. But here on version 2, they integrated everything into this case right here, which kind of looks like a little AirPods type of case. But what's really nice is that now you don't have to depend on your phone like you used to with the Insta360 GO 1. With the GO 1, you would always have to open up the app, make the switch as far as what shooting mode I want to get on. Now everything is built in here with a little screen right up front. So if you want to switch modes now, instead of having to connect to the phone, you can see everything here on this little small screen. And the one thing that's nice about this case too is that you do have the internal battery, but you also have a battery in here. So once you're done shooting with it, if you need to recharge, all you do is pop it back in, close it up, and then now you'll see that it's actually going to be charging up the camera while it's in the case. On the bottom of the case, we do have a quarter 20, so if you want to hook this up to a tripod, it also has USB-C, which is pretty much the standard going now. And also, you have a little built-in tripod, which is kind of cool. So if you just have this alone, and I was using this for a while vlogging with it, and if I wanted to set this up and get something like a time-lapse, it has a little built-in tripod set it up just like that, let the time lapse go. Then when you're all done, pick it up, fold it. Now, one of the issues I had with the Go 1 was it's not rated to be fully waterproof. Now, I think it was rated to be weatherproof, or it'll be able to take light water, light rain. But as a quote unquote, action camera, you need it to be waterproof. You need it to be able to take a beating as well as be able to get submerged. And that's what I was happy to see with the Go 2. This is waterproof up to 13 feet. It does have a removable lens here at the very front, which this one didn't right here. So if you did have an accident and you did have to scratch this one up, you're just scratching up the lens, where here now you have this nice protective cover. So if you do scratch it up, you can always just buy a new cover for it. Now, when you buy the Go 2, it does come with a bunch of accessories, and I didn't really appreciate the size of the camera and the accessories until I started shooting a lot more recently. Now, what exactly do I mean by that? Well, if you wanted to have something like a chest strap or chest mount before, when you have your action camera, you have to carry around something like this. This is a full chest strap that you hook up here. This is actually a kid's chest strap for an action camera, but you carry around something like this with the action camera. And even though when I first saw this kind of magnetic necklace thing, I kind of felt like it was a little bit gimmicky, but at the same time I realize now that it's really trying to mimic or replace something like this. So in order for you to get a chest strap or chest mounted camera point of view, you would need something like this, but now you're able to put this on over your neck and then have this inside of your shirt and hook it up just like that. But now what you can do is just hook this up to the top of your hat and get that same type of perspective. And the one thing I like about this mount is I will use this as more of like a mouth mount. So I'll put this in my mouth here, and I'm able to have both my hands in the shot. So it does give you that perspective. Another accessory it does come with is this little mounting kit. So if you want to hook this up, a little sticky backing right here to hook up to something like your window, action camera mount here at the very bottom that you would just kind of stick onto a tripod or onto a little selfie stick. Now this one right here I think is a separate purchase, but I'll make sure all that information is down below in the video description on where to purchase not just the camera with the accessories, but I believe some of the other accessories too. Something like this is something you'll want. Now, when I normally go out and if I'm not shooting with something like my Sony camera and getting a little bit higher quality video, I will normally always bring this out. This is the Osmo Action with this little tripod extending pole here. This is probably my favorite rig, but at the same time, like I said, it's getting the shot. That's the important part. Now I'm able to do something very similar to shooting with it, but at the fraction of a size. This is what now I could bring around to get unique perspectives in something like this, which is basically the size of this actual camera itself. But now I'm able to just bring this up, vlog with it just like that. Or if I want to set this up on a tripod, I can do it just like this. Now, of course, there is a trade-off, right? You're not able to shoot higher resolutions on this one right here versus something like a bigger action camera, the Osmo Action or the GoPro. And that trade-off goes into quality. The quality of the Osmo Action and the GoPro, definitely a lot higher quality, higher bit rate than the Go 2. And that is that sacrifice you're gonna make. Every time you go with something a little bit smaller, you're gonna have to make those sacrifices. Getting the shot at maybe a lower resolution versus not getting the shot. And that was the reason why I brought my action camera around with me so much, is because I don't always like bringing around my bigger mirrorless camera. And if I don't bring my mirrorless camera, I know I have this right here. Now, in a way, it's almost like I wanna bring this if I don't bring this. Because for me, it's all about getting the shot. It's not worrying too much about the gear. Now, with that said, there's definitely a couple things I would like to see enhanced on their next version. Now, while I really enjoy the LCD screen here because of the fact that you can now see what mode you're in, how to change the mode, and what I normally do is I will put it in my mode. Like for instance, if I'm gonna shoot in Pro, I'm just gonna go into Pro Video. And then what I will do is I will hit record, and then once it's recording, you'll see the countdown. Now it's recording. I will then take it out and then put it into my mount. So I do know it's recording Pro Video. Now, if you want to stop recording, all you have to do is squeeze the bottom here or press it in, and then now the light will turn blue. Now it's stopped recording. It's not blinking anymore. The one thing I would like to see them do on a future version would be something where you're able to lock it. So for instance, if I'm recording here and now it's blinking, which means I'm recording, I would like to see some sort of a lock button that now disables that press. It disables it, or it doesn't allow you to be able to click it in and stop the recording. That way, if you are doing something special with action sports, that if you are out there and it's getting banged around, even though it is getting banged around, ideally, if it's locked, you're not going to have to worry about missing that shot because you're not going to be able to disable that record. The next thing I hope they add is another light that just lets me know whether I'm in photo or video mode. Now there's a sequence you have to do if you wanted to shoot in photo or video mode. You either double press it or you single press it and it'll record or it'll take a photo. I don't know how, but I would like them to some way integrate either a screen or something on here with a lighting system that lets me know I'm either in photo mode or video mode and possibly even which mode I'm under, just on the camera itself. Now, while this isn't really targeted to be a full vlog camera, the battery life is pretty solid with it. I did take it with me to amusement park. I tried vlogging with it the entire day. Wasn't really able to do that because the battery life was a little bit shorter for something like a full day vlog. Now, I understand that's not what it's meant for. It's not meant to be a full all day type of vlog, even though the battery life is pretty solid on here. Now, when I went out there shooting for a while, I did bring an external battery pack, which helped me with the battery, but the problem was the internal 32 gig filled up pretty quick. So I do hope in a future iteration that they're able to maybe have a way to add our own memory. Maybe I can add a 128 in there, but still be able to have it fully water sealed, waterproof. But the expansion on storage, I hope is something that they're gonna think about for the next version. And there it is, guys. Those are my overall thoughts on the new Go 2. Definitely a huge upgrade. I was kind of skeptical at first when I first saw it. I was like, no, not another one of these, but the updates they made on it definitely make this thing a lot more usable than the first version. And also the big thing, it's waterproof. That I think is a huge deal for people that want to use this in more of an action sports type of environment. Of course, links to this camera and all the other gear I showed in this video are gonna be down below in the video description. So if you guys do want to support the channel, make sure you guys check out those links down below. As always, if you guys got some value from this video, a big like would be much appreciated. And also don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell to be notified when I post new videos. This is Ultra Nastasio with FlytPath.com. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.